Boy, if it hadn't been a while. Back to the old grind.
Like a whole minute. Lots happened in that time. I caught the flu.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And it's like one of the worst flus in recent decades, apparently.
It's an epidemic. Take control. Alright, let's see if I remember how to play this game. We say that every time we start recording.
Yeah, so I'm experiencing a phenomenon I haven't experienced in years. I just scarfed down a Taco Bell burrito before we started recording, and I miss it.
Oh.
Like, I miss the food I just ate. That's not supposed to happen. What normally happens is you're hungry, you eat the food, you're no longer hungry, that's the end of the story, you can now focus on other things. But I wish I was still eating that burrito. Okay, so I know we normally date these with memes. I'm gonna start dating our videos with what's currently being sold at Taco Bell.
Ooh.
It was them Taco Bell French fries, but they was put in a burrito. And those French fries are they're really good. And I feel like it's gonna be like one of those things where, like, you remember when, like, what was it? Was it Lay's or like Doritos that had like Pizza Hut Doritos or something? It was a long time ago. There was some kind of major chip company that had like a major pizza company like make a pizza flavored snack or something, and they were really good, and they were like only of that time. I have a feeling that these French fries are going to be fondly remembered, but they're not gonna last.
We're gonna tell our kids about them. I remember having French fries at Taco Bell. They're gonna be like, Grandpa, why aren't you dead yet? Jesus.
Grandpa, what? We can't afford to keep you alive anymore. We've been trying to let you die, but you won't.
I live off of pure hate.
Oh, right. I can't get into cover when I have the shield. Alright, well, I don't need cover if I have the shield. I need help remembering how to aim, though. That guy looked like he was lost. In the middle of the gunfight, he started looking in the wrong direction and, like, frantically moving his head back and forth, like, where am I?
Am I supposed to be here?
He just... Like, he entered a fugue state in the middle of a gunfight and then came out of it. What's going on?
That is a bad time for it, unless you're like one of those sleeper cell style people that'll just start killing everyone.
Yeah, and it's like a blood rage that he goes into. But this guy wasn't that case. This guy was he's now very lost and not much use. We joke, but that's probably a real thing. That's probably happened before.
It's sad. Now I'm sad. It's your fault.
What? Why does, of all games, why does Gears make me feel bad for having, like, dark humor? Like, every time we record one of these, I end up making myself, like, feel guilty for something I've said. Oh, right.
With what you say,
the meat
that
cannon.
should happen more often.
Yeah, but I don't know why it's Gears that causes it. Uh-oh. Nice! I nailed that guy. Okay.
They got catapults.
Yeah, I'm gonna break the dam.
Yo, language.
Boom. It worked. Now we got water fighting on our side.
Ah, the waterbenders finally heard our cries.
Oh, do I have to shoot it again? Oh, okay. It looks pretty broken. I thought it was broke all the way. I gotta keep breaking it. Now we're talking.
Kabamboozled.
Guys. Okay. I didn't realize that this was the video game prequel to the cinematic masterpiece, Waterworld.
Don't you be talking shit about Waterworld.
The joke is that... No, like... Okay. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I remember when I watched Waterworld, I was like, that was alright. And then I discovered, like, the mass hatred for it and, like, considering it one of the worst movies ever made. And I was like, oh.
I thought the same thing.
But I didn't watch
like, I enjoyed it. It was like Mad Max with too much water instead of not enough.
Yeah. I think part of it was weird because they still had, like, pelts and leather despite everything being covered in water. It's like, wouldn't you be covered in fish stuff? But, I mean, I remember liking it, but it kind of made me afraid to watch it again.
Hey, you want to come over and watch Waterworld? That's what I say to the ladies before I know I'm getting laid.
If there's a man who dares ask if someone wants to go watch Waterworld, he is exploding with confidence. He knows he can't lose.
They got balls.
That's the equivalent of fighting with one hand tied behind your back. It's like, you want to go watch one of the most infamous films of all time? Infamous for how boring it is.
Man, that's not like fighting with one hand behind your back. That's like fighting with both hands behind your back and a sword already in your stomach.
Also, you have no teeth, so you can't even bite. Also,
doesn't make that much of a difference, but it hurts.
Yeah, keep in mind that this only applies as a metaphor. If you look like that, you probably don't have too great a chances of getting a date.
Wow. What about No Teeth
maybe
Jerry,
some people
the
are
most
into the
laid
sword
man in the
thing.
country?
Who?
No Teeth Jerry.
Does he also have a sword inside of his stomach?
At all
Because
times.
I think that's...
It's a fashion statement.
It's not even like it's really in there. It's a real sword, really inside of him.
They tried to pull it out once, and he was like, "Nah, this is getting me laid."
He's
and
like, "No, this
damn,
is
player,
me."
you're right.
He said that to the nurse. It happened right then and there.
And then he had sex with the nurse.
Because that wasn't okay. Is the story finished now? I don't know how we go on from that.
I think this is a good ending point. Happy ending.
Hey, I finished downloading Shadow Warrior. That game I bought, like physical, and then never installed and never actually played and forgot about until I learned that it was free on Games with Gold. Remember, kids, don't buy video games. They'll let you down.
Like Gigantic. We dating this?
Yeah, we dating it. I mean, I already dated it with Taco Bell French fries. We're gonna look back on this in, like, I don't know, 2046 or something. Be like, Taco Bell French fries? That was a thing?
Wow. We were living in the golden age and we didn't even know it.
Or we'll be like, Taco Bell? That was a thing?
Is that what Burrito Palace used to be?
God, Burrito Palace? That's a very confident name. A fast food place that calls itself anything like Regal? Oh, well, I guess Burger King.
Like Regal? Oh, wait, that's
Regal
a movie
Cinemas?
theater.
I was gonna say. I said Burger King, which was correct. But yeah. Burger King ain't that great. I know people have their opinions, but some opinions are wrong. And a wrong opinion is Burger King's not that bad. You're just wrong, man. I remember, like, when Burger King had some integrity, like when they were all about, you know, the Whopper and, like, giving people a whole bunch of meat while, McDonald's
to them
had
their
the
way?
Big Mac. Give them what?
Giving it to them their way?
Yeah. And then, like, McDonald's had the Big Mac, and it was, like, the thing Burger King always had over McDonald's was the Big Mac is tiny compared to everything on our menu. And that, like, you know, that worked for a lot of people. It was like, dude, the Big Mac is just small. Well, then, Burger King, like, they shifted over to new management or something, and they came out with the Big King, which was just as small as the Big Mac, only it wasn't as good as the Big Mac. So, like, they abandoned the identity and just are now a trashy McDonald's. Boy, that's saying something. If you're the trashy version of McDonald's...
or a soulless husk of what they used to be.
Right, and like now Hardee's is the good, is the best version of what Burger King used to be.
And Wendy's.
Have you been to Hardee's recently? Well, Wendy's is like the better McDonald's in my
Ooh.
opinion, because
that fire doesn't mess around. You walk in it and you're immediately like engulfed.
On fire.
Weird how that works.
If you walk in fire, you become on fire. Are you gonna use the meat cannon this time?
Yeah, I haven't used one yet. Let's see what I do.
I'm gonna watch it while it's being used. I want to see what they look like. Yeah, I mean that's
oh, hey.
That's reasonably what you would imagine a meat cannon would look like.
Except with more mouths. Or less, depending on how fucked up you are.
Well, I mean, every cannon has a mouth.
Why do we
just
kill
pushed
it?
into the ocean. No,
that was useful. Oh, great.
Oh no! Now we've angered the ocean. The ocean is
water
allergic
activated.
to meat cannons. It's breaking out, guys. Wait, our father's weapon.
Is that
the
like
MacGuffin? Did I miss something about the MacGuffin?
Oh, I think they were talking about
Guys,
it
we
earlier.
gotta get the thing.
Like last time we played.
Probably, and we were probably talking over it.
Us? No.
I mean, I guess all we gotta know is the thing. Yeah, you gotta get it.
Look at all these dead civilians. They're surprisingly well preserved.
Well, I mean, they're probably dead recently. You can't even smell them yet.
Then
Their
something
faces
died
still
in my
betray
room.
signs of life. Oh.
Hey, this thing was lighting up,
Yo,
guys.
check out this face.
I got an
okay.
achievement. Collector.
I guess.
You can call me
Same.
Collector.
Dude, do you? Oh, I mean, of course not. But there's the show. I can't remember what
Go
network it was on. It might have been Fox Kids, but it was like a NASCAR cartoon. It's called NASCAR Racers, but it was like F-Zero style. Like, it was way out into the future. It had nothing to do with actual NASCAR. It was like they just had the logo, and it was technically a licensed show. And they didn't have like company names. Like, they had nicknames on like on their cars and stuff. And like the main character, I remember, he was Charger, and he was the classic, like, you know, red and yellow car. Well, the villain was called the Collector. And his whole thing was, after he would wreck a car, he would keep a piece of it as a trophy. Oh. And the only reason I remember this so vividly, I never actually watched the show on TV. What had happened was, we entered a sweepstakes to win some kind of like trip to Florida or something, and we got second place. And second place got us a free VHS of the first 2 episodes. So we were like,
nice.
Hey, free stuff, let's watch it. I don't even remember if it was good or not, but it had decent toys. I mean,
I'm gonna assume it was.
Yeah. Clearly, since you've heard about it, it's one of the legendary television programs.
I was gonna say like, and then name an obscure one, but nothing came to mind.
I mean, like Cowboys of Moo Mesa.
Oh, sure, I guess.
I know a lot of those, man. I watched anything and everything that was on the TV back in that day.
You know,
mostly because, I mean,
I'm
we
not
didn't
surprised.
have a lot of channels. So, like, if something came on a channel that we had, I watched it. Like, I've told you guys about this, but I didn't have Kids WB. For whatever reason, my area just didn't have that. So I didn't get to see Teen Titans until it was on Cartoon Network. like a couple of years after it was on Kids WB. Same thing with Batman the Animated Series. Like all the DC shows I didn't see until later when they were being aired on Cartoon Network.
I'm so sorry.
I didn't see anything like... Yeah, I didn't see anything like Shaolin Showdown or any of the stuff that was on there.
Oh, I can relate. I didn't have Nickelodeon. I didn't have Cartoon Network.
Well, it seemed like Cartoon Network was just Kids WB, but older. Like, they didn't get things as... They got the old Kids WB shows, which is weird, thinking about it now. This is definitely not the case anymore. Now Cartoon Network is just an unrelenting torrent of garbage. And that is the channel. That is the network itself. Most of that garbage is Teen Titans Go, but there's other garbage. It's not alone. A lot of people like
Which
to
is
just
getting a
blame that.
movie.
Thank goodness!
I was worried I would be alone for the rest of my life.
This worry is unrelated, but it is a worry nonetheless. I hope it has the reverse effect that the SpongeBob movie had, where it's like, the SpongeBob movie happened and then everything that came after that was horrible because the creator and like a lot of his like main writers left as soon as the movie came out. Maybe it'll either get really good after the movie comes out, or maybe it'll have the same effect and it'll get so bad that they'll actually take it off TV, which is unrealistic since I'm pretty sure we've reached below the worst that it can go.
Ooh, there's stuff going on.
Kind of, oh god. Okay, so this big guy right here is a really big problem. Because he throws a big old explosive thing.
Oh, hey. There he is.
Everything he does a ton of damage.
Oh, Jesus. All right.
You have to shoot his little yellow spotted thing. Yeah, okay. He's dead.
Ayúdame. Por favor.
Good lord. Okay, where are you? Okay.
Habla español.
I need to be in cover! God, they're like not
Ooh,
missing.
headshot.
Nice. Remember, like, okay, so like the Lambent grubs, like the regular locust, headshots are the best for them. But some of these guys have like glowy bellies, and that's the best place to shoot them.
I'll just shoot anything that glows. Is that a smartphone? You look like you have that under control.
This seems like the kind of universe that never would have made it to smartphones. They were too busy spinning it on heavy metal architecture to bother with smartphones.
And on steroids.
And, I like, okay, so like I like that kind of universe where it's like in Blade Runner, how they still have like tube TVs and stuff like that. It's like, the funding for the technology just went to different places. I like how this universe, it went to steroids in architecture.
I mean, like,
And chainsaw bayonets.
If we were still at tube TVs and someone was like, "Hey, I made holograms," we'd be like, "All right, well, we're done with TVs. Let's do holograms, I guess."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's kind of like, I'm trying to think of a real world example. I mean, it's kind of like how the Betamax was just the better version of like the VCR style technology, but like DVDs make that obsolete, and then it's like Blu-ray will be the last optical format because like discs
Digital?
just aren't as good as
Yeah.
discs just aren't as good as like that kind of stuff. What would you call that? Because it's not digital, because optical media technically has digital media on it.
I call it digital.
Solid state.
Internet-based.
Yeah, cloud-based. Well, I don't know about cloud-based stuff. Cloud-based stuff is a little finicky right now. But, like, I guarantee you that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One are the last consoles to use discs. The Wii U was the last console that was going to use discs from Nintendo. And I'd be shocked if the next Xbox or the next PlayStation have, like, optical media drives for anything other than backwards compatibility. Which I could see Microsoft having in there just for backwards compatibility, but like new stuff, nah. If it's on any kind of physical media, it'll be on an SD card style cartridge, just like the Switch
Like
has
the
it.
Wii U or the Switch. That's the one.
Yeah. Because it's just slow
And
compared
bulky.
to everything else. Yeah, it takes up space. Those are kind of the two determining factors: is how fast is it, how big is it.
And who uses it?
Yee.
Like,
I think my dog got in trouble in the background. I'm hearing loud, angry noises.
ooh,
It's normally his
I'm
fault.
telling. But like,
It's funny.
what was I gonna say?
Yeah.
If Nintendo hadn't made a push for the like non-disc stuff again, then I could totally see another generation using discs. But
Yeah, but since not only Nintendo's made their next home console use SD card type things, but that it was really successful. Like that's basically set the stage. And like the PSP was the only handheld that used optical media because the Vita used cartridges, but the Vita was a failed system. So it didn't
what?
really
You
prove
don't still
anything.
play your PlayStation Vita, but it's got Battlefront 2.
Does?
It's got the
PSP
original
had
Battlefront 2.
2. No, that's the PSP, dude.
Or
That's not the Vita.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
I
like
mixed
the
the two up
PSP was
because
pretty good.
no one used either.
No, okay. Well, the PSP did way better than the Vita. That's for sure. It didn't do anywhere near as... I'm gonna get killed. I'm gonna get killed. I'm gonna get killed.
I'm coming. I'm
I'm gonna
coming.
get blown up. Oh,
I'm
no.
trying.
Oh, no! Thank you.
Ah, teamwork. Now let's make this dream work.
That actually got me kind of hyped, but then I got shot down. Like, right after hearing the motivating words.